you guys are identical twins. We're like, oh yeah, and I'll be like, they'll be like, how do you tell each other apart? And I'll go through all of my routines. I'm like, well, I got a birthmark on the back of my right leg, and right now I have a beard, and I do this thing with my hair. And we hear like all these different things. People are like the eyebrows, the nose, the ears, anything and everything to tell us apart. And it's always something that's fun to talk about.
Yeah, I agree with that for you because you can't tell which one I am. And people think it is actually offending to us, but it's not. We just pretend that it's a big deal, and it's not. Happens all the time.
Joshua, what is it like being a twin?
It's just like anything in life. When you do it for 18 years or more generally put our entire lives, it's not as glamorous as people say it is. You get used to looking the same. You get used to being asked the same questions. It becomes a part of your identity. Your mind becomes naturally associated, wired to accept having a twin.
You kind of, like you said, you kind of forget after a while that you're a twin. It's just such an integral part of your life. It's there.
Yeah, it's not something that you wake up every day and you're like, I have a twin, I'm special. It's not a big fabuloso that makes you say, yay, I'm so unique every day. People think that we embrace being the same as each other, and it doesn't work that way. I hear people say all the time, I would love having a twin. I would love having someone who's exactly the same as me. At least when you do it for long enough, it's not that way at all. It's the opposite. You just fight for your own identity. You will go to not stupid, but not necessarily rational measures to be different. For example, I can't stand getting the same color shirt as him. I don't like getting the same food at a restaurant as him. It sounds stupid, but it's the truth. It's how we're wired to be. On some of the actually deeper things, I think Jake is. It's hard for me to say this. It's something I've never explored myself so much. I think he's a little bit more of a lighthearted person than I am. I feel like I'm a little more time-oriented, want my way, a little more stubborn. That's just how I am. I'm sorry, that's not how we're alike. That's a contrast. I'm sorry to interrupt. At this point, we don't think so much about how we're alike because we're fighting to be different from each other. It's the prevalent thoughts in my mind are how am I different than Jake? They're not how am I like.
For a long time, we were referred to as one person. Whenever someone would be like, oh hey, I'm having a sleepover, should I invite Jake and Josh? It wasn't a should I invite Jake or should I invite Josh. It's a you guys are looked at as one entity. I'm going to invite both of you guys. I'm going to invite any of you guys, which was nice in a way, but it also kind of makes you feel just like
a blended identity.
Yeah, you're the same person. And just after years of that, it kind of got a little tiring. Just we're basically looked at as one person. You wouldn't mention my name without the other hardly. A lot of people didn't know he was a twin. Like his theater friends didn't know he was a twin, and so whenever they'd see me, looking very similar, they'd be like, "Oh hey, what's up, Josh?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Who in the world is this?" But I'd just be like, "Oh hey, bro, what's up?" But I never knew who any of them were. But
yeah, we have to play those games every now and then. Jake will have a conversation with someone that we don't know very well, and that person may come up to me and remind me of that conversation that they had with Jake when I never had that conversation. So you kind of learn to improvise like you know what they're talking about. It's entertaining, honestly.
People ask us if we're like telepathic. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
They ask like, "You twins just read each other's minds," or like when someone hits your leg, does he feel it on his left leg or something?
I didn't feel that. By the way.
No, never. That's never been a thing that I can remember.
I can say safely as someone who likes science logic, likes science a lot too, but being genetically the same as someone does not mean the laws of physics stop working. It just doesn't work that way.
What are some memories that we have together?
We had our neighbor had this large patch of land behind the house, and we had another neighbor, a friend of ours who lived next door, and so we would, I hate to say invade our other neighbor's land, and we'd go exploring this magical land where
we considered it magical.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of weeds, a pond, some trees.
Every now and then some cows and stuff in there. That was pretty scary.
Yeah. And when we moved out of that house, we made a shoebox full of various things.
Memories.
Don't ask me why. A jar of polyurethane, airsoft BBs, macaroni noodles,
Guitar picks, drumsticks.
yeah, we put these all in the box. It was a box of memories for this house that we had lived in for 6-ish years. And we went out to this magical land behind our house and we buried it there. We actually recently, didn't you try to go out there?
Tried to dig it up.
Dig it up?
Spent about an hour and a half invading my neighbor's territory almost without his consent, but he caught me. I never found the box, just to be honest, but that was a good memory. I forgot about that one. That's about all we have. Life as a twin is interesting, but you get used to it.
But it's life.
It's our life.
There's nothing glamorous about it really. You do get special privileges, but like anything else, they recede to the background when they happen for a while. I think that's the biggest misconception of being a twin.
It gets, I don't want to say it gets old, but you get used to it, and people don't understand that because they're not twins, but we're used to it now, and it'll always be part of our lives. So that's it.